This week on Not Another Movie Podcast, Star Wars The Last Jedi trailer drops, and is it worth the hype?
Is The Fresh Prince coming to Agrabah?
And Captain Marvel finds its directors. Hello and welcome back to episode 12 of Not Another Movie Podcast. I am Sean Pierce.
And I am Sean Kelly.
And the big question that comes after last week's podcast, how did your class feel about reviewing the Trolls?
Yeah, you know what? I decided not to spring that one on them.
Oh, really?
Just because we had...
But your review last week was so glowing.
Yeah, I know. But we had parent-teacher interviews, and I didn't want to get too many complaints this time. So I'm on a bit of a short leash after last time. So I didn't want to turn any offside.
I thought you were a rebel, man. I thought you were going to stick it to the man.
No way. I'm a square. I'm the squarest of squares.
I thought you were Robin Williams from Dead Poets Society.
Jumping on the table, good captain by captain.
Yeah.
No, I'm more like the teacher from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
I think you're more like Robin Williams from 1 Hour Photo, just a real creepy one that stands in the background.
I thought you were going to say, I think you're more like Robin Williams now. And I'm like, yeah, if you ask my wife, she might agree.
Poor Robin Williams.
He doesn't know. He'd laugh.
I hope so.
Or just ignore us entirely, which is more likely.
Well, it's unlikely anyone that's connected to him will listen anyway. So,
yeah. Poor Zelda Williams is just crying right now.
All right, well, this week dropped the trailer that we've been waiting for probably since the end of The Force Awakens, and that was what is Star Wars The Last Jedi going to look like? And honestly, I was not impressed.
Really?
I was waiting for that money shot, and it just didn't come for me.
What would the money shot have looked like for you?
I don't know. I was waiting for something, well, just like, holy shit! But that moment never came for me.
What about the, little rocks floating with the Force and Rey getting her shit together?
Yeah, but we kind of knew already that she was probably going to be a Jedi. So that part wasn't necessarily a surprise. And the visuals look nice. I mean, as you said, especially the first shot where it looks like you're looking at an island from the top, and then all of a sudden it pans up and then she's there. Yeah. And then you got that beautiful flyby of Rey and Luke training on the side of the hill. But apart from that, nothing for me.
What about the weird sort of like speeder? The pod races basically with the red smoke,
the red
speeding.
Flares.
Yeah, speeding towards the AT-ATs. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, as I said, there wasn't anything there that excited me apart from the fact that it's another Star Wars film.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. There's no... I can see that.
Yeah.
Well, what about, come on, the end? It's time for the Jedi to end. What?
Yeah, but as I said, we kind of got to... well, there is this fan theory that is going around that Luke does want to put an end to the Jedi. Have you been reading about this one?
No.
Well, basically that... He feels obviously responsible for Ben Kenobi.
Yep.
Ben Kenobi? Ben Solo.
Yeah, Ben Solo.
Yeah. That, because it sounds like that he took out, and we saw flashbacks of the, looks like Luke and R2 standing at the burning Jedi temple.
Yeah.
That he kind of takes responsibility for that and somehow turns and wants to join with Kylo.
What? Maybe he wants to join with Kylo to help steer him back towards the light.
Possibly, I don't know. Maybe there is like a little master plan of his. But yeah, that is the theory going around.
That'd be kind of cool, and I think it feeds into the notion of, this is going to be the reverse of Darth Vader's story. Someone from the dark side coming back to the light, which could be cool. Yeah. Now, a lot of people saying that he's irredeemable after stabbing his father. Yeah. But you've got to be able to come back from something, so that's a pretty big thing. I'd like that story.
So what was it about the trailer that got you excited?
Look, it was just seeing the Star Wars imagery. I thought the music was fantastic. I did choke up a little bit, when you see the Millennium Falcon, darting in and out of X-Wing fighter fire, but knowing that Han Solo isn't the one flying it was a little bit tough. And that awesome shot with Kylo Ren with the blade right at the screen,
Yeah, that was
angry.
nice, yeah.
The destruction of the Jedi Temple, seeing all those dead Jedi. It looks like Captain Phasma is she's walking out of the debris. I don't know if that is the Jedi Temple, but it looks more like an Empire style shuttle base. So I don't think she was there, but hopefully it means the return of Captain Phasma and she actually does something awesome.
Well, the hot topic coming out of Force Awakens was that she does have a bigger role in this film.
Because it was just a joke the first time. I was so excited and then very disappointed.
Yeah, especially when you're going to have the first female in basically a glorified stormtrooper outfit that we know of.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was kind of given the hee-ho pretty quickly.
And like in a very... at least Boba Fett, who also got the early hee-ho, ended up in the Sarlacc pit. She gets tossed into the garbage disposal.
I wonder
she's literally garbage.
Exactly. I wonder if she'll throw her coming out of that.
I hope they do like a Gandalf style. Like she goes in, they spend like 15 minutes of her story. She slides into the garbage pit like Gandalf falling down into Moria, and she finds like that creature that they fought in A New Hope, but it's like Balrog sized, and she just goes this awesome battle, ends up on top of a mountain top somehow, and comes back as Phasma the White. That would be awesome.
That would be, yeah. That's an interesting take on it.
We'll see what happens.
But yeah, as I said, I know it's only a teaser trailer, and I'll wait to see the full trailer. But yeah, as I said, I personally thought that the Rogue One trailers were a lot better than this one.
Still a little flaccid at the end of it. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and it's funny. Like I was expecting to read articles how it broke records here, broke records there, but no, I think everyone was kind of on the same page as me. The hype wasn't as huge as I was expecting.
Yeah. Yeah, but maybe when the actual trailer drops.
Yeah,
and hopefully it's a lesson that, don't just... I mean, I love a good teaser, but maybe we're being teased too much.
Or maybe the quality of trailers now is so good, especially, how we were gushing last week over the Thor Ragnarok one.
Yes.
That we just keep getting it blown away every week, and we're expecting a certain level, and then if those levels aren't met, maybe they're...
Yeah, Where was the snappy Bohemian Rhapsody soundtrack? That's what I was waiting for.
That's right. So maybe if they recut it, then...
Yeah.
But there was an interesting... I put a video on our Facebook page where they compared Episode 7 and Episode 8 trailers together, and they were almost shot for shot.
Hopefully the movies are different, but yeah, that was pretty amazing.
Well, in saying that, Force Awakens was a lot close to Star Wars than they want us to believe. So, hopefully they aren't just sticking to a formula.
Yeah, exactly right. I think that they are hopefully going to break away a little bit more here. It's not going to be like, I can't remember where I was going. But yeah, hopefully they're going to break away a little bit.
Hopefully it's not like Empire, where like the end of the film where they just split up all the characters into different stories and want to resolve them in the third one.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, I guess we've got until December to find out.
Yeah. All right. Well, there was another cool trailer that that caught our attention, and that was a film called American Assassin. Now it stars Dylan O'Brien and a man who we both have a man crush on, Michael Keaton. And the trailer, it kind of, I thought it's about a man whose girlfriend gets killed by terrorists on the beach. And it starts off where I actually thought, maybe he's going to... he wants to be recruited into the Taliban or ISIS, whatever, form has killed his girlfriend, and then try and take out the cell that killed his girlfriend. But then he's recruited by this shadow CIA figure, Michael Keaton, and then the story evolves from there. But the trailer itself does look pretty good.
Yeah, well, to be honest, when I first started watching this, I'm like, are you kidding me? This is like the most trite bollocks I've ever... Like, dude gets his girlfriend killed on the beach and suddenly becomes like a master assassin. And then Michael Keaton came in and I'm like, okay, I'll give it a crack. We'll see. And it seems a lot more interesting by the end of the trailer than I'd given it an initial credit for.
Yeah.
Like, it's just going to go beyond... I thought it was going to be a big, massive circle jerk of a movie, but it seemed to be actually a little bit more interesting than that.
Well, it was funny because you brought this trailer to the table. I thought you were more excited about it than what you were letting on.
If it didn't have that turn halfway through, I would have just ignored it. But no, but I thought it looked pretty interesting. And like as you say, Michael Keaton, We're midway through our Keaton-assance, and I don't think he's doing much wrong at the moment. So I'm interested. And apparently, it's based on an acclaimed series of novels, so that's always a positive thing.
But it's funny, like speaking of Michael Keaton, like he came out of the traps and he did Birdman, then he did the one about the newspaper. I can't remember what the name was. Then he did The Founder, and now he just seems to be like, obviously he's doing Spider-Man, and now he's doing this one.
So art films.
Is he kind of like selling out?
Well, I think he's probably like, you know what, I've probably got another 7 or 8 years of filmmaking left. I'm just going to make the money. Get the moolah.
Yeah, I suppose, but as I said, those first 3 films were so good.
Yeah.
And I'd hate to see him step away from the drama side of the acting that he was in for those
He might be doing the Matt Damon school of film where you do like a couple of artsy ones and then you do a couple of big ones to make the money, then you get back to the artsy ones. That might be what he's trying to do here.
I like seeing him at the Oscars, and I want to see him take one out, so I don't think he's going to do one with these 2 films.
I don't know. The wallet looks really sweet.
Yeah. Well, one wallet that does look really sweet, and that's the wallet of Universal Studios this week. The Fast and Furious 10 came out.
Oh my God.
And it opened worldwide at $532 million in its first weekend. That is fucking ridiculous. I don't get it either. How can these movies make so much money? But the weird, not the weird part was, it wasn't necessarily the US box office that tore it to shreds. It was the China box office, $190 million in its first weekend.
For those who are listening who like this film, I'm not ragging on this movie. I don't think it's like a dumb movie and you're dumb for liking it. But I don't see the difference between this film and, you know, the half dozen other big budget action-y flicks that come out every year. So what is it that makes this one special?
Yeah, I have no idea. I haven't seen it yet. It's not like I'm avoiding it. I just haven't had time to see it. But those numbers are phenomenal.
That's Disney money.
Yeah, well, not even a Marvel movie has opened up that big. So this is how big that franchise is. It's insane. And it just goes to show, we keep talking about the China market. Like the Great Wall failed miserably. But if you can get something that's going to attract that audience, man, there's bucks to be made over in China.
Was some of this set in China?
No, not that I'm aware of.
No. Anyway, yeah, of course. I think that's maybe when we make our trolley film eventually, we should, introduce a Chinese-speaking character.
Yeah, or set it in China. I'm easy.
Or just set it in China. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Well, with that kind of cash, you would expect sequel news and spin-off news, and that's exactly what happened this week. Basically now, they've announced that the movies are going to go up to episode 10, or part 10, and which is 2 more away, because this is number 8. And now they are going to start spinning off the characters. And now we are seeing a Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, Agent Luke Hobbs, and Jason Straham's Declan Shaw go off into their own spin-off movie.
Yeah, and I'm sure, look, even just from the trailer, they look like they are having a great time together playing sort of adversaries.
Yeah.
And as reluctant brothers, I think they could really hold a film together.
Well, there was all these reports that The Rock and Vin Diesel hate working with each other because apparently it's very unprofessional. So you kind of think that maybe he had a say in this and which way the character goes, and now he gets to piss off completely from the Vin Diesel.
I thought that was just marketing, but maybe it was
real. No,
apparently
not. It's legit. I mean, they were talking about it on the last movie, and now they're talking about it on this movie.
I find that really strange because they both seem like easygoing guys. Maybe they just both like being the biggest guy on set.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many characters in that show. Realistically, Vin Diesel could have his own spin-off, and Tyrese Gibbs could have his own spin-off.
I want to see Michelle Rodriguez spin-off. I think that could be cool.
Yeah, but she's kind of really linked to that Dom Toretto character, so you kind of think she might follow in his movie if he does get his own spin-off.
Yeah, fair enough. I just think I'd really like to see her lead a film. I think she could do a great job. She always plays like the offsider.
Yeah. But as I said, either way, at the moment, kind of like the Star Wars franchise and the Marvel franchise, I dare say the Fast and Furious franchise is going to keep going for a long time.
Well, good, well done to them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what they've turned the series into compared to how it started is pretty remarkable, and they've been able to keep this going for so long, and obviously it's built such a massive audience that they're just giving the people what they want, and the people are eating it up like chocolate.
Do you think Nick Cage is watching on thinking, maybe we should make another Gone in 60 Seconds?
I wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. But they've tried. They've gone the 60 seconds. They've tried the Need for Speed franchise. It just didn't work. But this one has stuck for some reason.
Yeah, it's the golden egg.
It is. It's the gift that keeps on giving. All right. Well, over at Marvel, they've finally found directors for Captain Marvel, and I'm surprised it's taken them so long because they announced the character and Brie Larson so long ago, probably to get her introduced into the Infinity War story. But now they've gone with Half Nelson and Mississippi Grind directors.
Which I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen.
And Ryan Fleck. No, I haven't seen them either, but they are really well-regarded films.
Yeah, exactly right. And look, the Captain Marvel film doesn't come out until 2019, so they've got the time. I assume that's why they were taking their time. They really had their pick. But they've done the same thing they seem to be doing a lot, which is choosing sort of lesser-known directors who have shown some kind of creative flair, which is really exciting.
This is what I really love about Marvel is they, DC are trying to make statements and going to poach big directors and they want this and that. But Marvel just keeps it so real and they just keep finding these directors who haven't really done, massive movies at all and keep hitting home runs with them.
Yeah, I mean, Taika is our latest thing. We'll talk about him in a little bit. And it looks like he's hit it out of the park. And if these guys can do half as well as that, and from all reports of their previous work they can, I'm excited.
Well, and I'm like the Russo brothers, James Gunn. Now these two, as I said, they weren't big names, but now they are.
Even Jon Favreau to a lesser extent, when he was working with Iron Man.
Yeah, well, Jon Favreau realistically only made one big budget movie before Iron Man, and as I said, they just have an eye for talent.
Good work, guys. And I'm really excited about Captain Marvel. She's a great character, and I think she'll be a great addition to the MCU because she is, space based, but she's a different flavor from the Guardians. So I'm keen, and I want to see more space operas. I love Star Wars, of course, but more space movies in different flavors.
Well, you'd think that the next phase is going to be quite cosmic for the MCU. So yes. I think you're going to get your wish.
I'm ready.
All right, well, in November, we're getting Thor Ragnarok, and this week it came out that Taika Waititi is going to portray Korg in the film. He's going to be completely CG, and he became a prisoner to the Red King on the alien planet of Scar. So we obviously all know that Thor ends up there. So, and it's not unlike him to play parts in his films. In each of the films that I've seen him do, he does have a big role in all of those, and he is very funny. So, what he brings to that character, I'm not sure yet because we haven't even seen him. But from his previous work, I can't wait to see what he does.
And this is taken straight out of the Planet Hulk storyline. When Hulk ends up on the Sakaar, the gladiator world, he runs into Korg, who's basically just sort of a giant rock person, and they end up being fast friends. And Korg was, as it said, it was from like the olden days of Thor comics when they were first sort of coming about. There were some rock men who invaded Earth to take it over, like a really kind of kitsch 60s storyline, and Thor basically sent them packing. So Korg has this like phobia or fear of the Thunder God. And when they meet, there's a bit of tension there, but eventually they become staunch allies. So I think it's lifted directly from it, and it could be awesome. I love seeing big rock men.
I still want to put the challenge to you. I still want you to watch What We Do in the Shadows, because I would like to see if your opinion is as strong as mine of what this guy can do. So and he plays a massive role in that film, and he is absolutely brilliant. So as I said, I want you to see it because I want to see if you're on the same page as me.
I had it playing the other night, but it was just too late, and I'm like, I'm not going to appreciate this, so I'll get around to it.
All right, good stuff. All right, well, speaking of Taika, his next film has been announced, and it's quite of an odd choice. It's basically he's going to direct a stop motion animated film,
which is weird in and of itself.
Exactly, about Michael Jackson's chimp Bubbles. Now, apparently, this script has been blacklisted for some reason. and it was one of the most well-regarded blacklisted script. Now, I know how blacklisted script worked, back in the 60s and 70s, but I don't understand how now they're still blacklisted films. Do you know anything about them by any chance?
No, I don't. It's like, what is it about this film that has made it untouchable?
Yeah.
And why have these guys now gone to make it?
Well, I'm pretty sure that the subject might be quite controversial.
Yeah.
But as I said, I will watch anything this guy makes. So good luck to him on his next project. It's going to be interesting, I dare say.
And it's by Dan Harmon's Starburns Industries. They're the ones who are going to produce it. So Dan Harmon did Rick and Morty. He did Community. He's hilarious. So he's got a great eye for talent as well. So between the two of them, I'm quite excited for a film about Michael Jackson's monkey, which is weird to say, but let's do it. Bring it on.
Let's hope he doesn't spank it.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, God. Boo. I'm booing myself on that.
Booing, yeah, there you go.
All right, well, this week's big release is Guardians of the Galaxy. And it came out already that James Gunn has been hired to write and direct the third one, so that's cool. I'm glad that they've been able to keep a director on board to, create and finish his own trilogy at the same time.
It's been really his baby, this series.
Yeah, and that's why I'm rapt that that he's going to hopefully finish it off with something that ties in the two films that he's already worked on.
Exactly right. I think it kind of helps that it's a little bit separate to the main sort of MCU storyline until obviously the next couple of films.
Until the Avengers and Infinity Wars. But the first the first reactions have come out, and I'm getting really mixed messages. Some are saying, it's the MCU, it's its best. Some are saying it's not as good as the first. Some are saying this will be your favorite MCU film. So, luckily for us here in Australia, we get to see it earlier. So, Sean and I plan on watching it Monday. I'm pretty sure you're the same.
I'm seeing it Tuesday.
Tuesday. Mm-hmm. So we get to see it a lot earlier, and then obviously we'll review it on the next show. So, look, from what I can tell, the consensus is, that it is good. But you're always not going to please everyone, especially on a big film like this. There's always going to be some saltiness going around the success of the MCU. So
exactly right. And as we know, I'm not the biggest fan of the first one. I didn't mind it, but so this one will be a real tell. But I'm looking forward to it. I really love Kurt Russell, so I'm going in optimistic.
Sadly, they did announce, though, that there isn't a Tango and Cash reunion on screen between Kurt Russell and Stallone. So.
Well, we just have to wait for the Tango and Cash sequel.
Yeah, well,
for them to get back together.
Well, you could just say, Guardians made $600 million and it has Stallone and Kurt Russell in it, so let's make a sequel.
And I would actually like to see the Tango and Cash sequel set in the Guardians of the Galaxy universe, where they're put in a prison planet that they have to break out of. I'd watch that.
Now we're talking. Well. Also, too, make sure, obviously, you hang around in the trailers, because credits, sorry. Apparently, there's like 4 or 5 credit scenes in this film.
That's got to, as someone, and you as well, for people who used to work in the cinema, that is frustrating. But as a consumer, I'm excited.
I said the same thing to my wife when I read it. I'm like, this would have pissed me off so badly when I was working at this film, because you've only got a limited time to clean the cinema, and obviously people leave during the credits, so you got plenty of time to watch it, but clean the cinema. But if you've got all these people hanging around and you've only got 5 minutes between each show, that would shit me up the wall.
Yeah,
especially big films like this where it's just a mess everywhere. But
exactly right. It's going to be packed cinemas, and they're going to be trying to cram as many sessions in as possible. So those poor bastards are going to have like 5 minutes between sessions. It's going to be chaos, and I'm glad I don't work there anymore.
Yeah, and I don't know if you feel the same way, but stiff shit, newbies.
In fact, when I go, I'm going to just sprinkle some popcorn. I'm going to buy extra large popcorn, and sprinkle it around.
Yeah, I don't eat popcorn, but I'm going to buy some just to make your life a bit harder.
We're bastards.
All right, well, we spoke about a couple of weeks ago Spider-Man's role in the next coming films. We had him pegged for Infinity Wars. We had him pegged in Homecoming, a sequel to Homecoming. But now he's also been confirmed in Avengers 4.
Which was pretty much taken for granted, but it's good to know that it's been officially confirmed.
I'd like to know because the Infinity Wars was supposed to be split over 2 films, but now it's Avengers 4 is just Avengers 4. We don't know how it ties into, the Infinity War. So it's going to be interesting. They're keeping their cards close to their chest on that one.
Well, that's good. You don't want to know all the details, I guess.
Well, I do. I hate surprises.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, well, look, I'm just excited to see more of Holland Spidey.
Yeah. All right. Well, still on Disney, they announced this week that they are looking for Will Smith to play the genie in the new Aladdin adaptation.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this. What do you reckon?
I was actually quite excited for this one. I don't think Will Smith could do anything, in my opinion.
Is he zany? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if the genie has to be zany, but
the problem with whoever plays this role is they're always going to be compared to Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And, it's the same thing with Heath Ledger's Joker. No one's ever going to surpass that. And, I think people just got to try and move on and accept that we are getting something new and, it's not going to be the same.
Of course, but I think a friend of mine put up the idea of Kay from Kay and Peele. I thought he could be really good.
But I'll be surprised to see how much of, is this going to be a CG genie? Is it going to be a human genie? What type of form are we going to get? Is it just going to be Will Smith's voice or maybe some animated Will Smith? I'm not sure. So it's just a matter of how they take the character, I guess.
I reckon my prediction it'll be mocap, but heavily changed. So he's, going to be missing the lower half of his body and they'll cartoonify him a little bit. I don't know. I am interested.
Well, Will Smith's got so much charm and charisma. You can pretty much
do
anything.
That.
So I was actually excited for that because they had him pegged for the Dumbo remake, but now he's left that project and hopefully coming on board the Aladdin project.
Was he going to be Dumbo? He's got the ears.
Oh, that's just rude.
As somebody who comes from a family of big-eared people, it's okay. We can say that to other big-eared people. It's good.
That's just a slap in the face. The guy's giving you so much, and you have an attack on his ears.
Yeah, it's just the latest barrage in the ongoing feud between me and Will Smith. He knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just one way.
No.
But if you want to think that it's two-way...
He knew I wanted to play the genie, and now he's getting in there. I'm just saying, it's not a coincidence.
It's just plain rude.
Yeah.
All right, well, 2 TV shows that I know you were a fan of, and I'm included in this, is that the Deadwood, I was going to say Deadpool, the Deadwood revival movie script has been handed to HBO.
Which is pretty exciting. Did you watch this show?
I did, yes.
Yes, I'm excited.
This show really kind of led the way for the TV dramas that we have now.
Yeah.
I remember watching it. I've never seen a show with so much swearing, so much nudity, full frontal nudity too.
Yeah.
And, kind of led the way for like the Game of Thrones-esque shows that we have now. So, to
you wouldn't have Westworld without Deadwood.
That's exactly right. There's another one that, kind of led the way for that show. So I would be excited, whether it's a cinema release or whether it's a HBO release on cable TV, I don't know. But it would be nice for them to finish off that story.
I'd be happy with just a HBO film release, to be honest.
And, realistically, all the characters are still around, or the actors are still around. So, do it now.
Now's the time.
And Fox has announced that they're going to have a season 11 of The X-Files, but this time with 10 episodes rather than the 6 that we got this year.
I really like The X-Files, but I didn't watch the latest one.
At all?
Yeah, because apparently it wasn't well received. And I didn't want to have my memories spoiled.
But you still got to watch them.
Do ya? I don't know. I really like Gillian Anderson. I don't want to feel bad about her. I don't want to feel bad for her.
Look, the first one swung and hit and went over the fence.
Yep.
The 2 about monsters were really bad. They had this one that was so quirky, like you just couldn't understand what you were watching and how you were watching it. And then the one left it wide open, so you would have been disappointed if there wasn't, because there's mass happenings in the final episode. You'd want to see more. But
I'll have to go back and check it out.
But I'm glad that they are going with a 10-episode arc. But yeah, as I said, I thought you would have been all over those.
Yeah, look, like I said, I'm a big fan, but I don't know. I didn't want to find the time because I didn't want to be disappointed. So, but mate, on your recommendation, I'll go back and check them out.
Yeah,
particularly in preparation for this season.
Yes, I agree. And it's only 6 episodes. It's not like you got to give up a lot of time.
All right, cool.
All right, one of my favorite comic books. And have you read The Watchmen?
Oh yeah,
yeah. It is amazing. If you haven't read The Watchmen, go out and read it. Read it before you watch the Zack Snyder film. It will blow your mind, and it is something that you probably will not read ever again or anything like it. Because if you're into graphic novels, this is at the top of the list in my opinion. So when the Zack Snyder film came out, because this book is so well regarded, you weren't going to please everyone. Me personally, I liked it. Obviously, the book is it's got so much in it, you were never going to get it in one part film. So, if they spread the movie over 2 parts, possibly you could have got a lot more in it. It would have worked perfectly as a TV show, as maybe a 6-episode miniseries or 10-episode miniseries. But now there is talks that they're going to do an animated version of this book, and it's going to be heavily R-rated.
That's what I like in my cartoons, R rating. Yes. But I guess to do the Watchmen justice, you do have to do it R rated. Look, and I'm interested in this. I liked the film. I thought there were a few substantial issues with it, but I liked it. I didn't mind the ending either, which I know was a little bit controversial.
Yeah, I didn't mind it either.
Yeah.
If you read the ending of the book, you couldn't see how that was going to work in the film. Exactly
right. It needs a lot more setup than the film could have possibly given it. And the film ending ties everything together, I thought. It's probably the most elegant thing Snyder's ever done, to be honest. But yeah, I'm excited for this. As long as they don't go down the Killing Joke route. I'm really looking forward to Alan Moore coming out and saying how shit it is, as he does with everything related to his work. So look, that's something to look forward to, and I'll definitely see this. I'm keen.
But at least the Killing Joke gave him a reason for him to come out and say how shit it was.
Yeah, exactly right. I hope they bring back some of I wouldn't mind Billy Crudup as Dr. Manhattan again. I thought he did a great job.
You just like seeing the big blue dick, in my
opinion. Well, that will be animated this time, but just, a big blue penis with Billy Crudup's soothing voice behind it. I'm there.
You're a weird unit, you know that? just saying.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But yeah, I'll see it.
All right, well, on Netflix, Adam Sandler was signed up to create 6 films. I think he's into his 3rd one now. I have it on my to-watch list. As I've always said, I just keep waiting for that redeeming movie of Adam Sandler. And I watch all of them in hope that one day I will laugh. It hasn't come yet. And I'm still holding out hope. I think the next one was called Stanley Winkler or something like that. He plays like a movie agent. But I think a lot of people have the same hope as I do, because his movies are they've calculated 500 million hours of Adam Sandler films have been watched on Netflix so far.
We can put this into the same box that the Fast and the Furious stuff was on before, because I don't understand what makes these films special, but apparently a lot of people really love them. So he's doing something right.
500 million hours, that's insane. It is. Netflix have actually signed him up to do 4 more films. So now he's going to get a 10-film run with Netflix.
Yeah, he's going to do Jack and Jill and Jeff.
Well, it kind of makes sense. I mean, the box office hasn't been there for Adam Sandler of late. So if he can cash in on this Netflix success, and obviously people are watching him, so, Netflix are getting their end, he's getting his end, why not?
Yeah, look, I'll never be against somebody making any form of art that people want to see. So good on him, and Godspeed. They're not on my to-watch list, but I'm glad that they exist.
500 million hours. That's incredible.
Yeah, and that was just 3 guys.
There was me and 2 others.
Yeah. One of them was what's his face, the stapler guy.
Well, last week I kind of put you in a box. Where I said that you would have loved the Labyrinth, Dark Crystals, Princess Bride. Well,
and you were right.
Yeah, and I'm going to put you in another box today. There was a story announced that they are going to have a look at making a Dungeons and Dragons movie.
You know what I was doing last night?
What?
Playing Dungeons and Dragons. So look, for those who have seen the Dungeons and Dragons movies, you know that they're pretty terrible. They're not even good enough to be like a guilty pleasure. They're just bad.
No.
But I don't know. I'm kind of excited. They're currently making one at the moment with one of the guys from Divergent. But in all sincerity, everything I've seen of the pre-production of that looks no good. So I'm not that excited about that film. But Joe Manganiello, who's a great name to say, he played Flash Thompson in Spider-Man, but he's also in you probably know him from True Blood. But he's also married to Sofia Vergara from Modern Family.
And
so this guy's
Deathstroke too.
Yeah, exactly right. That's probably where you know him from as well. He's a big D&D nerd. In fact, I saw on Sofia Vergara's Instagram, she threw him a D&D party where she had like all the figures out and stuff like that. I'm like, wow, she is amazing. But he's written a script, or co-written a script for a Dungeons & Dragons movie, which I would have far more interest in seeing because it comes from somebody who is actually a fan and who has the star power to bring legitimate talents to the film. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, as I said, I'm not knocking you for any of this at all. Just so
no, I know.
Just for the record, as I said, and I actually like that how big this game has become, and how basic the game is as well. Like you were just given a book and dice, and people were able to create hours and hours of endless fun from this game. So, and it was really shown quite well in Stranger Things with the boys, how they played it as well. So yeah, as I said, I'm not knocking anyone. I just like giving Sean shit just for the record.
One day we're gonna record a game. It'll be awesome. One day happen.
Right. One day. But yeah, as I said, if you can get a real fanboy of the game to invest in this, if you look at Joe Manganiello, he's the furthest thing that you would expect from a Dungeons and Dragons player. So if you could have, someone who has some influence and loves the game as much as he does, bring something to life, then who knows what it could be? It could be huge.
Exactly right. My only worry with this is one word.
Warcraft.
I was going to say Warcraft. Exactly right.
Yeah, we did say the same thing about the director of that film, and we kind of know how that planned out.
What a shame.
Yeah.
How do you get another Lord of the Rings? Like that's what they're shooting for, and it's just not happening.
Yeah. Well, they've been trying, like even with the Masters of the Universe, they've been trying to turn that into a Lord of the Rings-esque trilogy, and they can't get that off the ground either. So, it's just hard to recreate.
Yeah.
And the thing as well with Lord of the Rings is that they were able to break the mold of just readers of the book. It got everyone involved. Everyone loved those films.
Exactly.
So it is hard to do.
Well, we'll find out. Joe, Godspeed. I'm with you.
Yes. All right. Well, that wraps up episode 12 of Not Another Movie Podcast. Next week, as we said, we will be reviewing Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Is this the big first release of the year that we'll be talking about? I think so.
I think Logan was pretty big, but in a different way.
Yeah. So fingers crossed for this. Hopefully Marvel can go 3 for 3 this year with Spider-Man and Thor as well. All right. Well, I am Sean Pierce.
And I am Sean Kelly.
Let your week be a good week. Until next week.